Hi, welcome to Running Logic's Paul here. We're going to go through this week's top tip. I'm actually going to go through a little bit of a discussion point very quickly. So, can working on a treadmill help your outdoor running? There are obvious pros and cons to this that I just quickly want to go through. I'm not going to cover them all, but I do think, short answer, yes, it can really help with what you're trying to achieve outdoor. But you have to understand some of the limitations so that you don't just train indoors. It's cold at the moment, it's not slippery inside on a treadmill, so it's a much better environment to train. It's great because you can do some interval runs, so you can do shorter, sharper runs, build up your speed endurance, as it were, which is quite nice. You've got to have your base in place, but that can be a nice development thing to work on a treadmill. And it's also good for doing that interval dynamic work. So again, helping with dynamic leg strength, getting you on and off the treadmill. Okay, so there's a couple of real positives for working on a treadmill. The disadvantage, and the main one I think, is that obviously the extension phase, which is the dynamic phase of your run and really where the power wants to come from the glutes and the hamstrings, is done a little bit by the treadmill. So it's easy to get into that lazy element where the treadmill pulls your foot back and you're really working on the forward motion, bringing the knee through, which is fine. But if you're only running on a treadmill, you're only doing the intervals, you'll find when you go outside that actually running is quite hard work. So it's something to do sparingly, once a week, once every 2 weeks, as a session to help very specific parts of your training. Don't get into the habit of doing it all the time because, as I say, that lack of hip extension, that lack of work there can actually have an effect on you. And I understand why some runners don't like doing work on treadmills. But there are advantages, there are things you can do that help, and I think it's really worth keeping that in mind, particularly during the winter period. Thank you.